I remember obviously watching the game and looking at Fabrice, and he just fell to the floor. And through obviously our skills, we spotted obviously that something wasn't right because there was no one else around him. So the Bolton doctor and physio run onto the pitch, closely followed by the Tottenham Hotspur doctor and our physio, and then us from the pitch retrieval team. They were already on Fabrice's side. We rolled him onto his back and noticed that he wasn't breathing properly, and we call it agonal breathing. We then ripped his shirt open, placed the defibrillator onto his chest. At that time, we had the Spurs doctor doing CPR. I placed the pads onto his chest, and the Spurs physio pressed the button and delivered the first shock to him. We then gave him a further shock on the pitch. We then lifted him off the pitch, got him into the tunnel, where he received another shock. We then placed him onto the back of the ambulance, and just as we was lifting him onto the back of the ambulance, he had another shock, and a further 15 shocks all the way, with fantastic CPR being carried out en route, and advanced drugs to try and get his heart back into a normal rhythm. 26 shocks off the top of my head. I know he had 15 with us, and then he had a further more shocks at the London Chest Hospital.
How long was he clinically dead for?
His heart was in an abnormal rhythm for 76 minutes, and it was finally at the London Chest where they managed to get his heart back into a normal sinus rhythm.
What do you remember of the help the ambulance service gave you?
I think what the London Ambulance do, they do a great job in terms of just being there at the right time, at the right place. And I think during my time, they were there. I couldn't ask for a better team to be there. And them being there for me has helped massively on my recovery. And to me, it's just a great initiation to be part of it. And hopefully, as I said, this will increase all the way from not just London but everywhere in the country.
Fabrice and Pete were reunited at the launch of London Ambulance Service's Shockingly Easy campaign. It aims to get 1,000 extra defibrillators installed in public places across London. Marks & Spencer was the first store to sign up, and it will install the devices in its 86 venues across the capital.
The likelihood without the defibrillator is that his heart wouldn't have gone back into a shockable rhythm, and Fabrice wouldn't be standing with us here today. We had some letters from professors around the country and around the world saying that they've never heard of it in their entire careers, and some of these doctors have been in the profession 40, 50 years. So it's definitely an amazing story. It was a massive team effort. There's not one person that deserves the credit. It was a team effort, and every single one of those guys that was involved on the day, are fantastic. It just goes to prove that without defibrillators, cardiac survival rate will fall. So the more defibrillators we have for everywhere, the better it's going to be for Londoners, who work, live in London. They just need to be everywhere.
Do you ever remember a day quite like that in terms of your medical
No, that's tattooed in my mind forever, I think.